Hello everyone, welcome back to the translation course in Alpha class. Today, we are going to talk about principles and characteristics of translation. Hello, I am Ria Christina as the first presenter who would like to explain the principles of translation. According to Tytler, 1790, as cited in Jyothiraj 2004, there are three basic principles of translation. The first one, translation should give a complete transcript of the idea of the original work. It means that there is no less or more meaning. It is forbidden to add or reduce the meaning when do translation. The second one, the style and manner of writing should be in the same character with the original one. So, translation firstly happened because of two languages have the same style and manner in writing. And the last one, the translation should have all the ease of the original work. The next materials will be continued by my friend.
Hello, I'm Chandra Devi. Well, everyone, every language has its own characteristics. In the translation, this characteristic of language can affect the translation. There are three certain characteristics of language which have a very direct effect on the principles of translation. In this chance, I would like to explain the first characteristic, namely meaning components. Meaning components are packaged into lexical items, but they are packaged differently in one language than in another. In most languages, there is a meaning plurality. For example, English has suffix "as". Basically, it often occurs in the grammar as a suffix on the nouns or verbs or both. Let's look at these examples. The noun students, if we add the suffix "as", the meaning change become plural. Yet, in Bahasa Indonesia, expressing plurality does not have suffix "as" to make the noun becomes plural. The repetition of the noun or by putting word banyak before the noun can affect the plurality. Let's look at this example. The single form is the noun murid, and then the plural form by adding the repetition of the noun becomes murid-murid, or by adding the word banyak before the noun murid and it becomes banyak murid. Many times, a single word in the search language will need to be translated by several words. For example, the word projector. It is called as the thing that shows pictures on the wall. The word projector is translated into 8 words. This kind of translation commonly occurs because of the borrowed words from the other language. That's all for the first characteristics of translation. For the rest, two characteristics will be explained by the other presenters.
Hello, I'm Lia. I would like to continue the next characteristic of translation. Let's move to the next characteristic of translation. So, the second characteristic of translation is the synonym component. It is the characteristic of language that the synonym component will occur in several surface structure lexical items forms. In Bahasa Indonesia, we have many expressions such as membawa, menjinjing, menggendong, memanggul, memikul. But when we translate into English, it only use the word carry for those expression in Bahasa Indonesia. For another example are, in Bahasa Indonesia, the changes term of domba only by adding the sex after the word domba. For example, domba jantan, domba betina. But this rule cannot be applied in English because it has its own terms. For example, sheep for domba, ram for domba jantan, ewe for domba betina. That's all from me. For the next will be continued by Desa Indri.
Hello, I'm Desa Indri. I would like to continue. The next presentation is about the third characteristics of translation. One form will be used to represent several alternative meanings. The first one is primary meanings, where a word has many meanings based on the use and its context. And the second is secondary meaning, refers to many words that are used to represent an object. There are the examples of primary meaning. If you look up the word run in a dictionary, we will find many meanings. For example, the first is the boy runs. In Bahasa Indonesia means anak itu berlari. The second is the motor runs. In Bahasa Indonesia means mesin itu berfungsi. And the third is the clock runs. In Bahasa Indonesia means jam itu berjalan. Next is the examples of secondary meaning. The first is teacher. We are not going to shout. We will walk quietly to our place. Second is mother. Let's be quiet, shall we? If we had been used in its primary sense, then the mother would be quiet and the teacher would not shout. We know that this is not the case. In each of these examples, we is being used in a secondary or extended usage.
Hello, I'm Trisna. I'm going to conclude all of the materials that have been explained by all of the presenters before. So the conclusion is, there are three principles in translation that should be considered by translators, such as the first one is the translation should give a complete transcript of the idea of the original work. The second one is the style and manners of writing should be in the same character with the original one. And the third one is the translation should have all of the A's of the original work. Beside the principles, there are also three characteristics of translation. The first one is the meaning components. The second one is the same meaning components. The third one is alternative meaning, which consists of two kinds of meanings, such as primary meanings and secondary meanings. So that's all about the presentation.